Alright, Aquarius, Sun sign, and Mercury in Aquarius. So this, my Sun and my Mercury are in the house of Aquarius, and according to my studies, the house placement is just as impactful energy-wise as the planetary placements, and so I very much have found it to be true that I have this combination of Sun and Mercury in Aquarius. And what's more, both my parents have this energy. My dad's like Mercury is 0 degrees Pisces, so it's right on the cusp, but still that influence is there. And my mom is Aquarius, Mercury, and Aquarius. And if I'm not mistaken, I think my grandpa was too. And in any case, my point is this: I have so much experience with this energy, and there's so much to talk about. Where to even begin? To have the Sun in Aquarius on its own is saying so much, considering the cosmological cycle known as the Age of Aquarius that we're going into, indeed that we already are in a sense. The cusp being a couple hundred years back with the French and American revolutions, and building on that with Emancipation Proclamation, with civil rights, and we've also went into the detour of the lower level manifestation of Aquarian energy, which is the abuse of science and technology and being detached from people with World War II and all sorts of regimes and whatnot from this past year. Very often with some kind of ideal there, some kind of goal that was very abstract and indeed hard to reach, and sometimes the rigidity of focusing on that goal was horrible. It led to a lot of just death and destruction. And so what does this have to do with us Aquarians? We as Aquarians in this time are supposed to be bringing into manifestation the highest potential of our beings, the highest. Really, everybody is supposed to be doing this, but as I said in the video for Sun and Aquarius, the conscious version, or the more conscious version from this year, 2015, we're supposed to be the vanguard here. We're supposed to be the pioneers in the sense of fostering more tolerance in the world, more scientific inquiry, more humanitarianism, more opportunities for education, and just making the world as evolved and advanced and loving as possible. It can seem so cliche to be saying loving and understanding, you know, the age of Aquarius, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, those are ideals that are that are so important, so much more important than a person could possibly put into words. And it's a beautiful thing to have these as our life goals, and to have these principles to be checking ourselves upon, whether we're, one of my friends, for example, has this combination of energy. He's Mercury and Capricorn, but right on the cusp. In any case, he's very much embodying the scientific part of this energy combination of Sun and Aquarius with Mercury and Aquarius and influence. And my mom, for example, is a teacher. I'm, for all intents and purposes, a teacher, but with astrology. Astrology is so Aquarius. However, it is that we are doing our part to help the world move to a higher state of being. That is something that we have to find for ourselves, and something that we have to really appreciate for ourselves. Because as Aquarians, we are more independent people. We are, as much as we love all of humanity, we are extremely individualistic. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people say, think, or do about what we're doing. If we're not happy with what we're doing, it's not going to work out. Life isn't going to be what it could be, and honestly, even what it should be, insofar as just appreciating the magic of living, and appreciating just the incredible experience known as being human and being conscious. It's up to us with these energies to embody that, to appreciate that and understand it, and even in the deepest moments of pain or loss or regret or fear, to be in tune with that higher state of being, which is consciousness, which is appreciating life, is life itself, the universe, God, however you want to put it, all of those weighty concepts that are beyond description, really, and yet that we all intuitively know. It's important to stay in tune with that. because so many people, let's look at the partner signs, for example. So we have Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, partner sign Leo, Mercury in Leo. This individual, the Leo, is going to be incredibly able to connect to massive groups of people through their creativity, through their ingeniousness, and to unite those people together, and to have those people be looking to them as some kind of guide. Not necessarily the guide, although some Leos would really love that, but as somebody who's helping them move forward. That is very much what life as an Aquarius with Mercury in Aquarius is. Now, it may not be as showy, it may not be as creative in the sense of artistry, but it's very possible indeed. With our minds, we're really capable of doing anything. Mercury in Aquarius, and being in Aquarius, gives us the intellectual ability to abstract, to see patterns, to see the archetypes and the principles, the broader scheme of what's going on, the vision, and to really, with discipline and focus and a sense of purpose, to carry that vision out into manifest reality. Again, however we do it is up to us, but it's important to realize how responsible we are for the consequences of our actions, to not detach ourselves from what we say, think, or do, and to not get caught up in fads or anything that seems exciting for now but really isn't going to last for the future. Just as people look to that Leo for guidance, for understanding, for no doubt an appreciation of their individualism, thus promoting individualist nature in themselves, people look to Aquarius, us Aquarians, the same way. And indeed, you don't get much, I mean, in so many ways, you don't get more mystical, in the sense of, you don't get more Aquarian than this combination, in so many ways, that's what I'm trying to say. And in the sense of innovation, in the sense of forward-thinkingness, in the sense of being a visionary, this isn't anything to pat ourselves. I mean, you know, it's something it's nice to appreciate about ourselves, but this doesn't make us any better than other people. Everybody's gifts are great. Say a Sun in Cancer with Mercury in Cancer. They have gifts that we, with this combination, will never understand. That we'll never have for ourselves. Now, we can understand, we can foster it in ourselves, we can definitely learn. And that's one of our greatest gifts. But at the end of the day, their perspective is just as important as ours. Now, we may be able to see the future of that person's life because of our understanding of the broader psychological principles of what that person's been through in their childhood, and we can understand the broader principles at play in their society and in their community, and yada, 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 yada. We can understand all sorts of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's important to remember that different people live their lives in different ways, and that's okay. Something that's really important with this combination is because any combination of fixed Sun, fixed Mercury, for example, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, or Taurus, the 4 fixed signs, any combination of a fixed sun sign and a fixed Mercury is going to, even in an air sign, be stubborn. So stubborn. And in particular, this combination, being fixed air, even though air is very fluid and it's very understanding and it's very flexible, it's still fixed, and it's still going to be oh so stubborn, and sometimes be, in the case of Aquarius, this combination, we have got to watch out for superiority complex when it comes to ideas and the mind. And it's important to foster an appreciative attitude and outlook on other people, their ideas, and their skills. Even if they seem ignorant as all hell, it's important to appreciate that is still a human being, that is still, even beyond that, I mean, to appreciate life in general, you know, whatever life form it may be. But speaking specifically about human beings, to appreciate that is another branch of consciousness on the infinite web of consciousness, and that even though you don't resonate with them deeply, and indeed there's so many things that you would like to say to them that they would really probably not appreciate them as a person. Don't look down on them. Don't hold yourself to ideals and get restricted and who you can be friends with, who you can't be friends with, and just strive to be friends with everybody. I think that's really the best way to go about life, is to try and be to be tolerant and open, and to really live in that tolerance. Not just to say, oh, I'm such a tolerant person, but to actually walk the walk. With this combination, we can get so stubborn in our ideas and our ideals of what is right, what's not right, who is right, who's not right, that we just lose sight of the fact that life isn't black and white. It's not so serious. It's not so... It's important to have ideals. It really is. It's important to strive and to be moving forward and have ideas and vision. That's wonderful. That's all that, that we're here for. At least it's part of why we're here with this combination. But when we get so caught up in in the world of the abstract of our head, when we get so caught up in our head, we can really lose sight of how to treat people, and in subtle ways too. You'd be amazed at how what we think really shows. Now, granted, Aquarians with Mercury and Aquarius are known for being distant, and we can be very cold and very clinical. So at some points, you'd be amazed at how much we don't show. But in those times of intolerance, or in those times that it's difficult to really walk your walk as per your ideas and your ideals, it's important to just do your best and to try and open up and not be quite so stubborn with those ideas. Again, I'm not saying compromise your ideals. If somebody is a child abuser, that you don't have to go, I accept you fully, to their face or anything. But it is important to accept, okay, this is a human being. They've made horrible, horrible choices, and what is the cause of this? What is the root of this? That is the higher level of Aquarian thinking. It isn't so much going around saying, you're smart, you're not. You're a visionary, you're not. That's very tempting with this Sun and Mercury combination, because it is oriented towards the world of the mind, air energy, towards the world of understanding and communicating and people. And because at our best, we really do. We naturally have a feeling of wanting to commune with people and to understand people and to be a part of their family, in the sense of the human family, to really enjoy ourselves. We can get so caught up in appearances sometimes. That's a big challenge for air energy, is to only focus on what you see. And at our best, Aquarian energy sees past superficiality. Again, sees not only, say, for example, with that Mercury and Sun in Cancer example, say that person is operating from a very low place indeed of those two energies. They are being very childish. They're relying on childhood notions of what they can and should say and do, and say they're being very offensive. Maybe they're being very ignorant. Perfect example. Instead of judging that person, instead of trying to cut them down and cut down their ideas, I recommend being calm, asking yourself if it's even going to be helpful to engage that person at this particular moment in time. There's nothing wrong with challenging ideas. That's actually one of the best things about us. But it's important to ask ourselves these things, so we don't just rush headlong and offer up ideas and opinions that really aren't going to be helpful, and that are in fact just going to create more challenges. Better to play it cool and to wait, see if there's a better time, see if there's a way to say what you're saying in a calmer, gentler way. Now, it's not the Aquarian way to be brusque or to be mean, not at all. But when it comes to the realm of ideas and behavior and how to treat people, we can rush to battle, and we can just find ourselves completely hacking and slashing, saying, this is right, that's not right, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, you're bad, you're this, you're... That's not going to be helpful in comparison to... And it's not going to be very harmonious in comparison to being psychological, being scientific about it, understanding the other person, understanding. And this is one of the best things about our capabilities, and one of the best things that we should be doing as Aquarians is to check ourselves first and to ask, am I being prejudiced? Am I being biased? How okay, that person, how they're offending me, are they just representing myself or some habit or some thought or perhaps a past self of me in some way? And that's why I'm reacting so instinctively. We really do, you guys, with this combination of energy, we are able to understand infinitesimally whatever it is that interests us. And whether it's our focus is people or science or teaching or astrology or whatever, the more we rely on our cool, calm, collected intellect, and the more that we use it to turn it in on ourselves, on our own emotions, our own bodies, our own feelings, the richer life gets and the more we're capable of. Again, it's no small thing to have this energy combination in this astrological age. Again, it doesn't make us better than anybody, of course. So it's good to really affirm that. So subconsciously you're not thinking, oh yeah, I'm equal with everybody. I just happen to be so much smarter and nobody else could possibly measure up. And nobody has anything to teach me. Get away from that thinking, my friends. Embrace who you are. Recognize that you have a pretty sweet mind. It's a very powerful mind. There's nothing to feel bad about that or pretend about. But recognize that other people are worth listening to. Recognize that you shouldn't jump to conclusions and shouldn't be so mired in your own perspective. That it's important to not be focused on trying to win intellectual points, but instead searching just for the truth. And not necessarily needing other people to know the truth, just knowing your truth and being in tune with that and understanding. And so with the case of the Cancer, for example, you wouldn't go and tell them how everything is wrong. You would just muse and think, this specimen is an interesting example of this entire sociological community. I'm learning so much about that perspective, how that shaped them, how history, deeper down, has shaped that community. Interesting. I wouldn't have been noticing any of this had I rushed headlong into battle and whatnot. Again, people are relying on you to be tolerant and to live in that tolerance, to walk the talk, to not just have ideals, but to really, in every life situation, search for the truth, and if people are open to it, to communicate that truth to others. Ideas will come to you at the most random of times, but as you develop yourself, as you get in more tune, not just with your mind, but with your emotions, your body, as I was saying, more and more will make itself known. And there's truly no limit to what you can explore and discover and understand and then transmit to others. You are a very unique person. You live your life in your way. And your perspective is genius. It really is. So appreciate these things about yourself. Don't try and search for validation in other people. Appreciate this about yourself. And do your work. Enjoy the work. Innovate. Help make this world even more advanced than it was before. In whatever way you choose. And again, you have to choose it. Nobody else can. Take your time. That's another thing. Saturn ruling, the Sun and the Mercury of, ruling Aquarius energy. Patience and discipline and follow through are very important. And again, those ideas that just completely change your life, they will come when the time is right. I still remember vividly how that moment when my friend showed me a natal chart, my natal chart for the first time, and how it made perfect. Of course, it was so complicated, but it made perfect sense. Just intuitively looking at it and going, "Yeah, this is the tool I've been looking for. I have been searching for this. I didn't even know this existed." And yet, how in the months previous, I had set it up in a way for that to happen because I had been I've been searching for astrological understanding before. I had a false notion of how it worked. I didn't factor in the seemingly very obvious understanding that all the planets have their psychological impact. But in any case, the more you foster your curiosity and the more you foster what you love and what you're interested in, truly, God, there's just no limit. And those sudden leaps will take you to brand new worlds. It'll feel like a brand new lifetime. So be patient, do your work, foster that attitude of tolerance and appreciation for life and for others. And truly, everything will work out beautifully. And do humanitarian work. It is essential. Whatever your outlet may be, or outlets may be, it's important to give back to the world. You will inspire so many people to do the same. And importantly, the work you do itself will speak for itself. Namaste.